الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام الأتمان الأكملان على خير خلق الله أجمعين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. We praise Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We ask Allah to exalt the mention and grant peace and send His blessings upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon his companions, his wives, and all those who follow them on their path of righteousness until the day of recompense. For those of you who are attending for the first time, obviously because we have in the class for the first time in the Masjid, this is not the beginning of the book. We have, by Allah's grace, covered so far, I believe, 10 or 11 sessions of the book. And the book is Mukhtasar Minhaaj Al-Qaasideen Al-Maqdisi rahimahullah. It's a book which deals with heart softeners in general and the wisdom and secret behind the acts of worship. For example, we look at Zakah. We were discussing Zakah last week. You look at Zakah in terms of numbers, in terms of fiqh, 2.5% after you reach the nisab, 1 year passes, and so on and so forth. But then there's another aspect of Zakah, which is the spiritual aspect of Zakah. Why are you paying Zakah? What is the benefit behind it? What condition should your heart be in when paying Zakah? Who do you look for? What are the characteristics of the people who should receive the Zakah? Are you doing them a favor or are they doing you a favor? See, the Shaykh posted the point of saying that the one whom you give Zakah is doing you a favor by accepting your Zakah, because he's allowing you to purify your wealth. Otherwise your wealth wouldn't be purified had there been no one to receive it. So you feel that the one whom you're giving Zakah owes you something. How many of us feel this way? Always feels like we're the ones doing the favor, not the ones who are having the favor done to us. This evening, inshallah ta'ala, we will be beginning a new chapter which is connected to the chapter of Zakah. However, it's on Sadaqah. فَصْلٌ فِي صَدَقَةِ التَّطَوُّعِ وَفَضْلِهَا وَآدَابِهَا. A chapter on the Sadaqah. When we translate Sadaqah, what is the word we usually use?
Charity.
Charity. صح. The tatawwu', voluntary, right? There's a connection between obviously ta'a and tatawwu' and mutawwi'. They all come together in the same kind of circuit. So tatawwu' is voluntary. وَفَضْلِهَا وَآدَابِهَا. Fadl, the fadl of something, we said, is the
virtues.
The virtue. And what makes something virtuous? Let me just make sure this is on airplane mode or not. Fadl is actually ما زاد عن شيء, right? The extra, and which is above and beyond the average and acceptable. So it becomes virtuous because it's more than expected. وَأَدَابِهَا, the etiquettes. So Sadaqah, and maybe somebody leaves the door, he sees someone outside, gives him 1 riyal. One may not really go into all of this process. Is this 1 riyal from the wallet or the pocket to the hand of the miskin or the beggar? But actually there's a lot more to it. The Shaykh is saying the fadl of the Sadaqah and the adab, the etiquettes of how to do it. There are many things which we have to be aware of prior to executing this ibadah, or this act of worship. He said, أَمَّا فَضَائِلُ الصَّدَقَةِ فَهِيَ كَثِيرَةٌ مَشْهُورَةٌ. As for the virtues of Sadaqah, they are abundant and famous. Mashhur or famous, the English term famous is used, and I'm trying to include English with Arabic, with da'wah, so that everybody who's here will get something. You won't feel that you're left out. When something is good or is popular for good reasons, we use the adjective famous. However, when something is known for being evil, what is the adjective we use? And we dealt with this before. We said there are 2 adjectives used in the English language to refer to something which many people know, or a person who may be popular, but popular for the wrong reasons. Not because he's doing good, because he's a gangster or he's a troublemaker, he's a criminal. So he also has some popularity, but it's negative. Notorious. We say he is notorious. And the other word, which is the opposite of famous, is infamous. It's spelled with an You added IN in the beginning, but you don't say infamous, you say infamous. So it's just infamous, meaning something that is famous for negative reasons, not for the good reasons. You don't want to be that person, by the way. Don't be famous or infamous, be there في سبيل الله. نعم. الشيخ said منها ما روى البخاري من حديث ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أيكم مال وارثه أحب إليه من ماله. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith which was narrated by Ibn Mas'ud and collected by Imam Bukhari in the Sahih, the Prophet inquired or asked the Sahaba, which one of you is of such that the wealth of the one who inherits him is more beloved to him than his own wealth? Yani your own wealth, let's say you have 10,000 riyals now, and the one who will inherit one of us, let's say, will get an X amount of money of that. Which one of us loves the money which he will leave behind to be inherited more than his own money? The Sahaba said, قالوا يا رسول الله ما منا أحد إلا ماله أحب إليه. There isn't any one of us except that his wealth is more beloved to him. This is normal or abnormal? This is normal. These are the Sahaba. This is not a deficiency. It's not, the problem is not in loving money, because Allah already said that, right? وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبَّ الْجَنَّةِ وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. It's normal. You love money abundantly. The problem is when that love leads to mishandling of the money, or the wrong application, or oppressing others, or so on and so forth. So it's what results. The results of loving the money is the problem, not the natural love of money. This is in human instinct. Ask everybody who has a job. Where do you work? طيب. قال فإن ماله ما قدم ومال وارثه ما أخر. The Prophet ﷺ gave him the opposite view, which is what we normally do not think of. We think a particular way, and he's telling us the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is your wealth is what you have spent. It's what you have spent fi sabilillah. And the wealth of your inheritor is what you actually miss out on. It's what you left. It's what you kept until the end. So the real money is the one which you leave behind, or the one which you spend, not the one which you keep and you love. It's the other way around. Is that understood? Or are you confused? وفي الصحيحين من رواية أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال: من تصدق بعدل تمرة من كسب طيب أو بعدل تمرة من كسب طيب ولا يصعد إلى الله إلا الطيب فإن الله يتقبلها بيمينه ثم يربيها لصاحبها كما يربي أحدكم فلوه حتى تكون مثل الجبل. In another narration from Abu Hurairah, the Prophet ﷺ said, whosoever gives a sadaqah, even if it's equivalent to a date, one date, however it is from kasbin tayyib, it has to be from lawful earning. Because Allah does not accept anything, He does not accept anything unless it is tayyib. So that's why the funny story, which is usually narrated in this context, is that a man was walking by Bagala, and then he saw some apples and fruits outside, so he stole an apple. And then he continued walking, he saw a miskin, he gave him the apple. And he kept moving, and the whole time there was a man walking behind him. He said, hey, what did you do? You steal an apple from here and then you go give it sadaqah afterwards. He said, yeah, stealing is one sayyah, and sadaqah is multiplied by 10 minimum. I still have 9. He thought he was intelligent. He did the mathematics. 10 minus 1, 9 with these, maybe mushkila. So they told him no. Because Allah is tayyib. Allah Azza wa Jalla is pure. Therefore, He only accepts that which is pure. You cannot steal something and then give it a sadaqah. It doesn't work this way. So the Prophet ﷺ said, when you do that, even if it's equivalent to a date, then Allah Azza wa Jalla will nurture and raise it the same way one of you will raise a young horse. It's like a young horse. The way you look after him, you know his job, you take care of horses, they brush them and feed them and shower them and give them the best of food and training, all this kind of effort. It's the same thing that goes with even equivalent to an egg. Allah Azza wa Jalla will take care of it and make it grow. حتى تكون مثل الجبل, until it becomes like a mountain. Subhanallah, sadaqah of 1 date. Equivalent to 1 date, it will become like a mountain. Provided that it is from kasb halal. And of course the niyyah of the person, the sincerity. وَبِدُونَ إِخْلَاص cancel. Nothing. Yeah? So, people standing at the traffic light and some lady, one of these ladies will come and knock on the window. Some people, the shaitan tricks them. So, he looks around and says, okay, there are 3-4 cars that are seeing me. Then he takes out the money. And he rolls down the window and he gives her the money. So, make sure that everybody has seen him give sadaqah. This is wrong. Allah will not accept that. In fact, it should be the other way around. When one of us wants to give sadaqah, you should make sure that there's no one there. Anyways, we'll deal with that with the adab and the etiquettes of sadaqah. But just so we can be upon the same understanding. وفي حديث آخر إن الصدقة لا تطفئ غضب الرب وتقي ميتة السوء. In another hadith, sadaqah will put out or extinguish the anger of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Does Allah become angry?
Yes.
Does Allah become angry?
Yes.
Now those who come to the class don't answer because you know that we want two faces. Someone whom we haven't seen before. Does Allah become angry? Yeah? Does Allah become angry? You sure? Does Allah become angry? MashaAllah. Do you have an evidence? I need one dalil. That's not the dalil. That is not a dalil, ya Shaykh. A dalil is needed from the Quran and the Sunnah. What happened in New York can be interpreted so many different ways because it's from the ilm al-ghayb. It's from the unseen. Mind you, Muslim countries were afflicted similarly. How many times in Indonesia been hit? How many times in Muslim countries here and elsewhere?